Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back my friend Boo Rhodes, the podcaster from the Bay Area who reads the scary stories on her show. Boo's Spooky... Shit, what's the name of that podcast? Hold on one second. It's called Spooky Boo's Scary Story. And having her on today, we're going to talk about Halloween memories and favorite horror movies and all that stuff. And it's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait. She's hella cool. And she posts some pretty interesting statuses on Facebook. And I really enjoy her and stuff. So, yeah, here is my new interview with Boo Rhodes. Boo, how the fuck are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
What's up?
So, why is my voice echoing?
Is it?
Oh, not anymore. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it takes a second. I have a Google Voice thing, and so that's how I take my calls.
Oh, that's all good. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, Halloween is approaching us.
Finally.
Yeah. Man, last year, God, I was in a caffeine daze all Halloween last year. I was just drinking soda every day and just friggin' wired and stuff. I was hella depressed last year.
Oh no. Did soda help you with that?
Well, I've cut back considerably, but I was just really depressed because, it's my first year living up here in Reading, and just there's nothing to do here. But I'm getting close to moving pretty soon once the new year rolls around, and at that time it was just really bad.
You're getting close to moving then, or are you getting close to moving now?
Now, because I had just moved here then,
Where are you moving to?
Your guess is as good as mine. I either back to the Bay Area or finally LA. I don't know yet. My life is so unpredictable.
Yeah. Mine would be too, but it had like 3 kids attached to me, so I get to be in one place for them.
Yeah. Well, it just depends on my financial situation and stuff. I'm paying off a debt and everything. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But either way, I'm going to be much better off there because there's nothing over here. And at least I could do show business stuff over there. And everything will be cool.
Right. Interview more people, have more fun.
Yeah. So, do you remember your first Halloween costume?
My very first one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the first one I remember wearing was Sleeping Beauty with the little plastic mask and the flimsy little dress.
Uh-huh.
That was my first one.
Mine was Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 4 years old. This was 1987. I had a black suit, red bow tie, red lips, the haircut, everything.
Oh. This was before they figured out that he was like a creeper.
Yes. However, when I tell people that I was Pee Wee Herman, they're not surprised because they know I love to masturbate.
Yeah, Pee Wee Herman and his little adult theater exposés.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that is, but yeah, I remember the rumors.
Yeah. So, oh my God. So I have a rare growth disease called Simpson-Galabi syndrome, and it got really bad. It got really bad a month later. I had my vaccine shots, and I blew up. And in my picture as Pee Wee, I'm a lot smaller. So a year later, I took my pictures to show and tell in kindergarten, and
Yeah.
my brother was 14. He was Mr. Stay Puffed, and they were all like, "No, you're Mr. Stay Puft because there's no way that's you as Pee Wee Herman." And I was so hurt by that.
Kids are mean, and a lot of times they don't even mean to be cruel; they just are. But
Hmm.
they say stupid things, so they'll be hurt by that. Just say, "Well, you were never Pee Wee Herman, so there."
Yeah, I mean, I was bullied pretty badly in school. That's why I relate to Sleepaway Camp so much.
Oh my god. For those, I can't remember any titles. I'm so bad with movie titles, but the last one I saw was like about the prom queen and
Carrie?
slasher. What is it?
Carrie?
No, not Carrie. This is more recent.
Oh,
Most likely to succeed or something like that.
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Oh, it's the same thing. Kid gets bullied or something, and everybody else becomes prom king and queen and the court and stuff, and they all get killed. You know?
Yeah. Wow.
So, slasher movies, I love them.
Oh, of course. Of course. What's your ideal movies to watch on Halloween?
Oh, I always watch Michael Myers movies on Halloween, but I try to branch it out a little bit and see things I haven't seen too.
Hmm.
So it could be anything. I mean, ghosts are my favorite, but slashers are fun, witches, soul stuff. I love it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about yours?
Any Friday the 13th movie, the original Halloween, um, Mirror Mirror, because I used to watch that movie like every Halloween on Cinemax from like 8 to 10. They used to play it all the time on Cinemax, especially at Halloween time. Do you remember The Worst Witch?
No.
Oh my
What
God,
is that?
you're the first one I've asked that to, and you said no. Okay, what's her name from The Craft? Veruza Balk.
Okay.
She was
That is.
she was like 12 years old. This is right after Return to Oz. She's she's a schoolgirl at this witch academy in England, and she's like it's a school where they're training to be witches, and she's the worst one. She's always accident prone. You know, she's always doing stupid things, fucking up, making mistakes, and being bullied by one of the other girls and stuff. And Tim Curry is like the grand wizard of witches, and he comes to the school and stuff. Yeah, it's really great. You should check it out. It's on YouTube. It used to be on HBO every year for like 15 years,
Right.
from like 80.
Is it more a fun story instead of a horror story? It sounds like it's more fun than.
Oh, yeah, it's a comedy.
Oh, okay.
What's her name?
Anyway.
Yeah. What's her name? Mrs. Garrett from The Facts of Life. She's the school principal, and she's her witch twin sister.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
I'll have
really
to watch it. I'll check it out.
yeah, it's really funny. Um. So yeah, I mean, I can remember every Halloween costume I ever wore.
What was your scariest?
Scariest. Uh, Probably a tie between I was Jason Voorhees with the Dracula cape one year because I saw some kid do that the year before, and then I was the killer in Scream like one year in high school, or maybe 2 years it was. Yeah, I think it was like 2 years. And yeah,
Uh,
I wore a lot of dorky costumes.
plate once.
Really?
Yeah, I worked at Apple and went into an Apple computer, and I was at a contest we had, and I won best costume.
How did you do that?
I took a cardboard box and cut a hole in it, a big one that had a computer in it, probably one of Apple's, I don't know.
Right.
Put it over my shoulders and put a cheap plastic paper tablecloth, red one, draped down, and a big shaggy wig, black wig, and did my face up like a zombie. We put a paper plate around my neck, cut a hole in it, and then fastened it around my neck so it looked like a plate. You take the plasticware next to the plate and throw the head on the table. I have a video of it on YouTube. Oh, not YouTube. Facebook. Picture of it. Video. I think that's a video of it. Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, my brother. He was a kissing booth for a couple of years. Yeah, he's just walking around with a kissing booth on him and shit. Yeah.
Did people kiss him?
Probably. I mean, he was working as a bartender at the time, so probably.
There you go.
Yeah. The last time I dressed up was 3 years ago. After I'd gotten out of the hospital from my accident, I decided I was going to dress up one more time because I became a different person. You know, I wasn't going to drink anymore and go to bars and stuff. So I dressed up as Lewis in Revenge of the Nerds after he loses his virginity. Yeah.
Hello. Wow.
People loved it.
Yeah. You don't dress up now? You don't, go out for the day and shop in your makeup and stuff?
You know what? I actually, this is going to sound terrible, but on Halloween, Chipotle has this deal where if you show up in costume, you get a free burrito. And I put on a fake costume just so I can get it.
Do they give one to each person who comes in?
Yeah, anybody who comes in a costume gets a free burrito.
Oh, I'll have to tell my kids. So they'll go in. I'll go in for that, but I like keto, so I don't know how keto that is.
Yeah.
We can get it. I remember that. I'm going to write that down.
I love Chipotle, yeah.
I dress up all the time. I can't help it.
God, it's addicting. I was actually going to the very first one that opened in San Mateo, in Foster City, back in 2002. About a year after I got out of high school, I was living in this apartment complex that had a Chipotle across the street, and I was there every fucking day, and I ballooned up so fucking bad.
Really?
Yeah, well, I was depressed because my grandma had just died. I took care of her for 9 months until she died. And so I was eating a lot and stuffing my face and just watching movies and writing scripts during that period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That keeps you busy, keeps your mind off of things, doing that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
How many scripts have you written?
I have written so many scripts, and most of them are gone because because my computer broke down years ago.
Oh, no.
It's okay. They were lousy. I mean, at the time I thought they were good, but as I look back, I was like, nah, that was a shitty idea, you know? I like to think my scripts I write now have a lot more depth to them, and because I have life experience now.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I don't have a clue how to write a script, but you have lots of life experience, so hey.
Do you know how to read a script?
I don't even know how to read a script. I know how to write books and stories, and I want to turn them into scripts, but I have no clue how.
Well, reading is easy. All you have to do is know that, you're reading basically a headline that says X meaning exterior, location, what time of day, and then you read the scenario and then just read the dialogue with the characters' names. That's basically all you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read stories straight. There's just I'm narrating a whole story. It just has no script involved. Although I am involved in a new one that's a creepy pasta that a few people are doing, and he said, "Here's a story. Just pick out your lines and do them." I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Get them all right, but yeah, I have to go find them. So whatever.
Yeah. How old were you when you stopped trick or treating?
I would never stop.
Really?
I'm short. I can take it.
Ooh, that's sexy that you're short.
I actually, when my kids were babies, I didn't do it as an adult. But when my kids were babies, I would like put them in the stroller and dress them up, whatever, and then go up there and have them hold a pillowcase.
Uh-huh.
And then got candy in for them. I mean, they knew I was going to eat it, but they'd say, "Oh, look cute." So yeah, I'm a horrible person.
Oh, I've heard worse, trust me.
I never went as an adult without my kids with me.
I interviewed a horror movie actress, won't say her name on the air, but she did a movie where she had to wear a fake belly to pretend she was pregnant, right? And they let her keep it after the movie was over, and for years she wore it on airplanes.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
You could probably get away with that in the commuter lane too, because I think somebody actually went to court on that, and they said, "Well, there's two people in there, so you don't get a ticket."
Exactly. Now that's cruel.
Now you get in a lot of trouble if you get caught doing that. So.
Yeah. My parents, they insisted I stop trick or treating by the time I hit 11, and the last couple of years we used to go trick or treating at the shopping mall. Did you ever do that?
No, we never did that.
Oh, it's fun. It's actually a lot better than doing it at houses at the late night dark hours because, God, there's so many kids there with their parents, and you can see there's light, and See's Candy gives away pretty cool shit.
Oh, I love See's Candy. I haven't seen See's Candy in years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And,
when we go trick or treating, we usually hit the houses like that are out of in certain areas because they give away the big candy bars.
yeah.
So my kids are like, "Okay, we got to go to this neighborhood." And okay, my kids are old now; they don't trick or treat anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The last 4 years ago, but they knew where to go.
Yeah. At See's, they give you like the chocolate lollipops and stuff, which is really cool.
Okay.
What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Oh goodness, there's so many of them. But Reese's peanut butter cup and pumpkin, I think, that's my favorite.
Yeah, I love Reese's also. What's funny about Reese's is that you can get Reese's year round, and they got those sharp edges, on them. But if you get them like if you get like the ones for pumpkins for Halloween or Christmas trees or Easter eggs, they actually have a much better texture without those sharp edges.
We do, but I like eating the peanut butter first and then saving the chocolate after, so the cups are easier to eat that way.
Yeah, that is true.
And the vampire commercial, I love it when they have the vampire.
Yeah. Yeah, the teeth marks. Yeah, it's a classic. Yeah. We're Tootsie Pop people in my family, and I was thinking about it the other day. Can you think about how wealthy the company must be, with all the candy they give away every Halloween. I mean, they produce like billions of pounds of candy at Halloween time.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tootsie Pops are great.
Yeah.
I mean, Tootsie Roll Center, those Tootsie Pops.
Everyone uses that analogy for like blowjobs and stuff.
God. Okay, well, did you ever bite into one to get through it?
Of course, we all have.
Oh. No, I don't think I ever tried something like that.
Yeah, well, it's not. You're not going to be able to do it from the very beginning. You have to suck on it for a while so it can soften a little bit.
Yeah. So, what was your least favorite Halloween costume that you had?
Oh my god, I don't even know if I had a least favorite one. I had some pretty cool ones though. I was a pirate for 2 years, two different types of pirates. Um, I was like John Belushi in Animal House at the end. When he's dressed like a pirate. I was like that. You know, I think I was a Pirate of the Caribbean type the next year. I was a clown, a ninja, a doctor. I was Jim Carrey in The Mask. Oh, I got a good story about that. I was 11 years old. I was in sixth grade. I just entered middle school. I go to my first ever school dance and my last for like 3 years, right? And the reason why it was my last for 3 years was because I was dancing with this girl and she was like, take the mask off. And I take it off and literally she screamed.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was crying.
You did that on purpose for Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm.
Why did
Yeah,
your parents make you wear one you didn't like?
no, I don't think so. I think I always liked my Halloween costumes. I mean, the most boring one was the sheet as a ghost.
Yeah, that is
So I didn't
boring.
have time to do anything.
Yeah, that is boring.
Yeah. I just threw a sheet on. So I don't have time for this. Just ran out there. I mean, the most embarrassing one was when at school, I thought I would be something like other people, so I decided to wear leotards and tights and put a cat's face on, and I would not walk out there. I had 8-inch heels on. I'm walking out in these leotard tights. No, 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 no. Go around the other direction. I hid all day almost.
Oh my God! So when I was a kid, I used to I had a ghost candy pail that I used to carry to trick or treat with, right? And I think there was maybe 1 or 2 years where I was just carrying a bag with a pumpkin on it, a plastic bag with a pumpkin on it. Those were like my candy containers to trick or treat with. My brother, I don't fucking know why he did this. He used to use his own pillowcase.
Oh, we did that.
I just don't get that. It's just like, I don't know. It's gross. It's ghetto like. It's just like, use a pail or a plastic bag.
We use a pillowcase so you can go around a second time and, get more candy. Because usually they don't recognize you. You just go back again. The pillowcase fills it, you're not going to fill a pillowcase up. Whereas pail, you're going to fill a pail up. But the pillowcase keeps on going and going and going.
Hmm. Well, I used to get my pail filled up though to the top.
But he had more room after that. Did you have to go home and dump it and go back?
No, I only got one trip, like all the time. In fact, one of those years that we went to the mall, I remember saying to my dad, "Hey, let's go to a couple houses," and he was like, "No, I don't want to do that." And I was like, "Come on!" And so then we went to this one corner that had three houses. One had the lights turned off. One and One had the lights, no, two had the lights turned on. One of them was just about to turn the lights off because there was no more candy. And then the other one had plenty of candy left, and they hooked me up pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. Yeah, I remember one time my sister put the candy on the porch because we didn't want to bother with it. We're watching Halloween and all these movies.
Right.
Just candy on the porch. So somebody just came by and dumped it all and knocked the rest of it out. You know, they didn't care. They were rude. Something like that. But it was, you know, it was one of the things where they're like, okay, we're done. We're going to dump all the rest of the candy in your bag. Here you go. That kind of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you make out. When you go with the last crowd, and then they put more candy into your bag because you want to get done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds pretty logical.
Gotta know all the tricks.
Yeah, I used to look forward to doing my trick or treating for an hour, then coming home with all that candy. I'd stay up late watching, God, all these great movies of horror on TV, and yeah, I'd stay up late, especially if it was on the weekends, because if it was during the week, I had to go to school the next day, and I could only be up for like a half an hour after trick or treating, and then I had to go to bed.
Yeah, I don't remember what we did. We dumped it all out and checked it. Parents always made sure they checked it. There was nothing in it.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the reason why we started going to the mall because there was all these reports of like needles and drugs and candy at houses. And so that's why we went to the mall, because everybody was like, because they had, C's, is safe. It's supposed to be safe because it's a candy store,
Right.
you know. But yeah, I used to like check my candy all the time. It was a major inconvenience because all I wanted to do was eat it.
And then they're like, oh, well, this doesn't look, this one doesn't really look safe here. Let me even think that.
Mm-hmm.
Eat it later.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. You don't want that. It's all the hard candy and you take all the, like, the Snickers and Almond Joys and everything.
Mm-hmm. I stopped dressing up for like maybe 5 or 6 years, and then I started doing it again. The first year I was a hippie, and there's a picture of me on my Facebook pictures of me as a hippie. I'd lost like 130 pounds, and I could fit in this costume just fine. And yeah, I looked pretty fucking cool, I have to say.
Did you go to any parties or anything as your hippie?
Yep, I went to plenty of bars. I met this one girl who was like a vampire girl. We went on a date like the next week, and I was very blunt, very honest with her, and she did not like that. And so I didn't see her again until like maybe a year later, and she was a completely different person and pretending like she wasn't affected by what I said, but I know she was, you know. I told her straight up like what I wanted from her, and I was 24. I wouldn't do it quite like that now. I would be a lot more softer now.
Oh, okay, I hope so. Yeah, go for it. Girls don't usually like that kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I mean I wasn't gross. I wasn't rude or anything, but she asked me, and she didn't like my answer.
Hmm. I'm afraid to ask what she would ask.
She asked me what I was looking for in a relationship, and I was like, I'm just, I'm young, I'm just looking, to get some action. I'd like a friend with benefits, and she didn't like that.
Oh, she asked you that on the first date?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's not the time to ask a question like that.
Oh, it's not the right time to ask or answer.
Nobody knows who you won at that point. You don't even know you won at that point. It's like, well, I mean, some people do, but, you know, it's like, whatever. Go and have fun.
Yeah.
With it.
Well, I was inexperienced, and I was in a different emotional mindset. I wouldn't do that again, but just at that time, that's what I did.
Right. Yeah. Live and learn, I guess.
Yeah. Are you excited for the Halloween reboot?
I am. In 3 days, I think, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah. Depending on the money here, depends on whether I'll go or not right away.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people go at the theater, because I don't like crowded theater.
Me neither.
If there's a line, I'll probably go the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I am excited.
so is this getting like a worldwide release?
I don't know. I would think so.
Okay, because a lot of horror movies come out, for a short time in theaters because it came from the festival circuit.
Oh, well, this is Michael Myers, Halloween. I mean, this is a big deal.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
It's got like a real.
any,
Go ahead.
so any franchise like that, I would think, would just be a hit right away, but I'm not in the movie business, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it's got like a real feminist message to it.
Um, which one? The insane, crazy one of today where everybody wants to top off men's, you know what? Or like the original kind where women just wanted equal pay?
I don't know. I
I
just
mean, there's two big different eras of feminism.
well, they're talking about the emotional trauma that women go through, is what it's about.
Oh, okay. Men go through that too sometimes.
Yeah, we do, but no one gives a fuck.
Men are more likely to not talk about it too. I mean, they're more likely to hide it and not say anything.
That's true.
So, I don't know. I'm not big on the big feminist thing. So I think, people screaming with their vaginas is really weird. They need to stop it. I mean, but free speech, they can say what they want, but it's pretty silly.
I'm pro woman, but I'm not a feminist at all. I just think that it's anti male. I think it's self serving. I'm just
Yeah,
not into it.
there's people. There's people not, you know, I'm a woman and I'm special, or I'm a guy and I'm special. Nobody's special. Everybody's the same. So knock it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Hey, I was curious, what color are your toenails painted?
Oh, well, it's football season for my son's football team, and their colors are like green and gold.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of this. I know this is a weird color. Kind of like a pumpkin stem, actually. It's like a dark green with a gold hue, and all my nails are that color right now, just because of the football game.
Ooh, that's hot.
Kind of Halloweeny too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't have a color today.
You don't have a color today?
No.
Okay,
Yeah, I've been painting them since I was 13.
really?
Mm-hmm.
What color do you usually paint them?
My favorites are pink, purple, um, white French tip, glitter, stuff like that.
Okay. Do you do them yourself, or do you do them professionally?
I do them myself more now. I started doing them professionally 10 years ago, and then I stopped because the prices got real rapey.
Yeah.
Yeah. This girl who used to do my nails at the salon, she owned it, and I went to her for like almost a year and a half, and after she moved down the street to another location to run her salon, and her prices went up. And after I stopped going to her, started doing my own nails, and every once in a while I'd come in and say hi to her, and she'd be very cold and distant with me and stuff. And she wouldn't reply my text messages anymore, unfortunately. So yeah, I was pretty hurt by that.
Yeah. Well, you got to figure that it's a business like that costs a lot of money to run, and the rents go up, and the insurance rates go up, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything's business now because of all the regulations in California, how much everything costs, and taxes. So
I,
the more you have to spend, the more you got to charge. That's life.
I know that's bullshit.
So, you know,
You know.
what it is.
Oh my god, I posted this really funny joke the other day on Facebook that got hella likes. It was a joke about Cinderella. Did you see it?
No, I didn't. I don't think so. What
Okay,
is it?
so Cinderella is about to go to the ball, and she's on her period, and the fairy godmother gives her magic tampons and tells her you have until midnight to get home, or the tampons are going to turn into a pumpkin. And Cinderella says, "Okay, fairy godmother, I will." And then 12:30 rolls around. Fairy godmother's up waiting for her, and she hasn't come home yet. And then Cinderella shows up, stumbling, drunk, you know. And Cinderella, the fairy godmother says, "Where have you been? What happened to you? You're supposed to be home by midnight." And Cinderella says, "Oh, I'm sorry, fairy godmother. I met this great guy, and we danced all night. He has two first names and two last names. I forget what the last two were, but the first two were Peter Peter."
Oh, God.
I love that.
Wife, that's for sure.
What happened?
He wasn't home with his wife, that's for sure.
Yeah. So
Oh my God, the pumpkin. I wouldn't. That would be awkward.
yeah.
I wouldn't be concerned about Peter. I'd be more concerned about that pumpkin thing.
Yeah.
Take me to the hospital.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty funny. So, do you have any new episodes this week?
Every day. No,
Every day.
Monday through Thursday, I do those episodes, and then Saturday night or Sunday night, people can call in and tell their stories, and they can schedule it with me during the week. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like Sunday's an open line, other people's stories. So
Mm-hmm.
call me and tell me their stories. So you can do that too.
Oh, I'll tell you, if you knew how to read a script, I'd have you read my script on air.
Oh, well, I could try and then send it back to you, and you can tell me if you like it.
Yeah, it's oh my god. So it's got lesbian characters in it. It's got a spinster witch. It's got all this really gross graphic stuff of killings along the lines of Freddy Krueger and the Tall Man.
Well, the show doesn't get really sexually explicit.
Oh, it's
So,
not. Oh, it's not sexually explicit at all, actually. But the characters are lesbians, is what I'm saying.
oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah. No, it's not explicit.
resting their preference in certain ways. That's fine.
Although there is a dick joke that you could probably skip over.
Really, it depends. It depends on what platform it's on. Is how I can tell that joke.
It's actually a combination of a joke and a killing. This guy, he's like putting his dick in the hot tub jet, right? And then the killer like turns on the jets. Next thing you know, blood is starting to emerge from the water, and he's like screaming his head off.
I would have done that.
Yeah, well, this is my homage to like the Toxic Avenger. Yeah.
Well, that could be read as long as it's done a certain way.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I rate R for language, but
it's what?
I rate them R for language, so it's like, yeah, some of it's really gory, but it's just not, it's not going to say, oh, you ripped his dick off in a bed or anything like that. But I could say kind of what he's doing, and then the blood came up to the top and blah blah blah.
Right. Well, if you give me your email, I can send it to you.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
I'll do that.
Awesome.
I give it to you now, but one time, oh my gosh. So on my PayPal, somebody used my email to subscribe to something called Six with Dicks. What the frick?
What's it called?
Six with Dicks. They used my email, my PayPal for my email for my Scary Story channel because I used to take submissions for that. I changed my email and everything just because of that. Because I looked on there, it's like 1 penny from Chicks with Dicks. And I said, why would I get a penny from this?
It sounds like Randall from Clerks, Chicks with Dicks.
God, I don't even know where that came from. I don't even know what that is. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I went on an incognito Google browser just to see, and I did not like where that was going. It was actually going to like some Singapore and Philippines sites that didn't look really appropriate at all. So I sent emails to PayPal. I'm like, what is this? The PayPal kept coming back going, you don't have a problem. You didn't pay for anything. They were sending you money. Like, don't you get it? Hello?
Yeah, they're hermaphrodites.
It was like they were using my address to subscribe to something, or I don't know. I don't know what the whole thing was about. It was really weird.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, don't worry. I mean, I'm not going to send you any hermaphrodites.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was a hermaphrodite. It was probably like, perfectly altered guys.
All right. Well, you have yourself a good show. You're doing one today?
Yeah, I'm doing one tonight at 8 o'clock. ScaryStorytime.com. So come on by and listen.
I sure will. All right, Boo. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Talk to you again.
Yep. Happy Halloween.
You too. Happy Halloween.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Boo Rhodes. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Boo. I love your humor and your stories, and you are so awesome. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.